Welcome back to another episode on the MLD Balls page. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a guy who could possibly win Offensive Rookie of the Year and Brian Thomas Jr. If you don't know the name, learn it. Brian Thomas Jr. This is a guy who, in the draft process, I was a bit lower on, and this is something I realize I keep doing in draft processes. When a guy looks too nonchalant and when the game looks too easy for someone, I just I don't know. I just don't believe it for some reason. I remember CJ Stroud in Ohio State. I was like, this is too easy. His team is so good. That's what he's got to be. His team is so good. You know, Brian Thomas Jr. He looks so good. I was like, you know what? He has Malik Neighbors on his team. Jaden Daniels on his team. That's what. Nah, he had a good running back, I believe. Also, that's what it got to be, right? Because he just looks so effortless and so easy. But I mean, his first game in the NFL is the same thing. I did compare him to a receivers like that because I do think he moves like a Justin Jefferson, Jerry Judy, Mari Cooper. Like he's one of those silky, smooth, nonchalant receivers that I like how he moves on the sidelines, especially. He gets open. Bro, Brian Thomas Jr. is a legit route runner, and I think him and Trevor Lawrence is going to be a crazy duo because in the first game of the NFL season, man, he tasked with Jalen Ramsey. Look right here. He scored 2 touchdowns on Jalen Ramsey because right here I'm counting this as a touchdown. This is defensive stat padding where Jalen Ramsey knew that he was going to give up the touchdown because in like the actuality of it, him doing that is a worse percentage play than letting the Jaguars be on the one because it's either the rookie catches the ball or he drops it, or you get this stupid play with that Jalen Ramsey did, and you get Travis Etienne running on the one for a touchdown. And then right here, you got Brian Thomas again finding his way in the end zone. Look, Trevor Lawrence threw it right here. And then the ball, he trusted Brian Thomas as a rookie in his first NFL game so much throughout whatever they've been doing in camp. And then look, boom. Like Brian Thomas Jr. was moving like this in college too. So I'm not surprised. This is the type of receiver he was. But I'm surprised with how much of a connection him and Trevor Lawrence have already, where Trevor Lawrence is anticipating those type of throws like 5 seconds ahead in coverage of like Jalen Ramsey. Like these are real good plays. These are very promising, and this is Brian Thomas showing you exactly who he is because him playing like a Justin Jefferson, a Amari Cooper would be an amazing thing for the Jaguars because that's exactly what they need. That's what they wanted out of Calvin Ridley last year, but that's not what they got. Brian Thomas Jr. is also going to be way cheaper, better, Dude, this is amazing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm happy for Trevor Lawrence because he's a guy who could have a great year. Great year. He's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL for a long time because people don't realize that, yeah, his stats may not look the way that you want them to, but his receivers last year, I was watching Jaguars games left and right. Out of 17 games, I want to say I watched at least 10 of them. And I seen at least 10 Calvin Ridley drops, and Doug Peterson, he's a coach who I'm 50-50 on. Me personally, I'm out on him, but they keep him, I could understand. It's not the worst. I don't like Doug Peterson, but that's on for another discussion. The Jacksonville Jaguars can be a scary team because their defense is good, and I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be someone that surprises the NFL this year. If you are a fantasy owner, I think this is someone who you should trade for very cheap if you could. Like if you have a Roma Dunze, fuck it. I'd trade Roma Dunze for like Brian Thomas Jr. because he's in a better situation with quarterback stuff, Caleb Williams, he looked kind of iffy. He looked all right. He looked iffy his first game. And then Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be in an offense where that he's going to be a big target in that offense. I believe his target shares for that first game, he had the most targets that first game. Like that's a big thing for a younger player because your first game, these anticipation throws that shows me that Trevor Lawrence trusts you, like with his eyes closed. You burning Jalen Ramsey. Shout out to Brian Thomas Jr. That's all I got to say for today's video. thank you everybody for tuning in. And like I said, if you have fantasy, this is a guy you got to pick up. Trade cheap for him. I don't know if he's in your waivers. Go get him right now. This is the guy who's going to change your league. And yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a nice day and God bless.